Welcome back, YouTube, to more MSQ playthrough. We are in Dawntrail. Let's go ahead and pop into it. What is special about these pillars, if I may ask? At a glance, they might look like ordinary stone decorations, but if you take a really good look, you'll see there's something much more interesting. There's a blank one at the end. Pictures? Wait, no, these are glyphs. They seem to tell a series of stories, many of them featuring a two-headed Mamulja. Oh, then this must be... That's right. It follows the exploits of my father Galul Jaja and his journey to unite our lands. We call it the Tulialau Saga. The deeds he performed and the bonds he forged, all immortalized in stone. There's no better way to learn how Tulialau came to be. Study them as long as you like. Oh, you can just click on them? You don't have to like move a camera or anything? That's cool. That's a very interesting way to give some information. I like that. This pillar tells the lay of the Brotherhood. Depicts the scene where Papa granted an audience to the foreigner explorer Ket something. I can never remember the name. Ketenram. You mean Ketenram? That's the one. Ketenram's arrival in Turao is what prompted Papa to embark on his own journey. It's said the two grew to be close friends, brothers in spirit, if not in blood, but no one knows what became of the explorer in later years. Ketenram's disappearance is a mystery in Eorzea as well. The records say he traveled between our lands and yours for a while, but then it's assumed he was lost at sea. Here we have the Lay of Reeds. This is the story of when Papa visited the Hanu Hanu in their village in Kozumakua. Ah, the people of Alphanot almost mistook for Vanu Vanu, if not for the colorful plumage. He spent a fair bit of time among the Vanu and sea through clouds, so it's no surprise he took an interest in your countrymen. I don't know how it is with your Vanu, but our Hanu are a bright and cheerful sort. They hold this one festival every year, very famous and a lot of fun. Let's see. This one is the Lay of Pots, which depicts the moblins of Kozumauka. They might wear odd masks and sound weirdly muffled when they talk, but the gold and silver work they sell is the best you'll find anywhere. Moblin goods are the standard when it comes to gift giving. Clearly, the Vanu aren't the only people with distant Turali counterparts. This one recounts the Lay of Repast. As you can probably tell, the figure depicted here is of the Zbral, like me. For decades, the Zbral and the Mamulja were at war for control of the forest of Yaktel. The actions Papa took to end that conflict have since been hailed as the first steps in the founding of Tuliolao. There is a clan of Hrothgar and Bostra known as Halians. In their society, the women rule as queens and the men serve as devoted subjects. Yet here in Turao, Zabral men and women appear to be of equal status. How dramatically culture can vary with location. If you're done with the first half, we can move on to the second. The Lay of Gold. This pillar shows one of the Pelu Pelu, whose homeland is in Ukapacha. Having created our currency, the Pelu are rightfully known as the Merchant Clan. They oversee Tuliala's markets, and their traveling peddlers are a common sight no matter where you go in Tural. Don't let their size fool you. They might be mistaken as children, but beneath those beaked masks, they are clever and calculating traders. Oh, this one is my favorite. The Lay of Ice. It depicts the battle with the legendary Tural Vidrao Valagarmanda. I should explain. Tural Vidrao is a creature that has lived far beyond its usual lifespan and awakened to preternatural power. Valagarmanda itself was dubbed the Skyrun, a name earned for the destruction and terror it visited upon Tural every time it stirred from its slumber. But 80 years or so ago, its ruinous reign was brought to an end. After a great struggle, Papa and his comrades managed to overcome the raging Vidrao and sealed it away in the Arcapacha Mountains. Despite its reputation, however, Belo Garmanda is also a symbol of power. That's why you'll see its likeness on Tulial's national emblem and adorning the banners at the palace. Oh, this one is unmarked. Papa says he left a blank pillar for the next chapter of Tuliala's history, whatever that may be. Ah, the Lay of Proof. That big fellow is the Yakui, the largest of Tural's peoples. These giants once used their great size and strength to establish a dominion encompassing all of Yak Tural. Having brought the southern reaches to heel, they then turned northwards, setting their sights on Zak Tural. You'll recall that massive bridge they built beyond the Skygate. Sometime after launching their northern campaign, however, they just gave up. They abandoned the lands they'd conquered and withdrew into the mountains of Urkopacha. Never seen any of their kind so much as set foot in the city. This was a people with the power and resourcefulness to raise a temple on a mountaintop and build a bridge across the sea with stone. What would move them to renounce their ambitions and their place in Turali history? How'd you feel of history then? Yes, thank you. Glad to hear it. You know, I feel awfully hungry all of a sudden. No surprises there, seeing I couldn't keep anything down for a while, but now I think I'm ready to eat again. So let's go and have ourselves a bite of a local delicacy. Come, I'll take you to the best restaurant in the city. I like the sound of that. Oh, there's a mini aether shard. There's one by the palace we didn't grab actually. I'm gonna grab it now. Okay. So on that banner, it's the Valagarmanda. Interesting. Those doors are huge. Did we get all of them? I think we're missing one. In the stalls, maybe. I know we're supposed to be in here somewhere. I'm gonna grab this mini aetheryte we're missing. Might be up there. Can we? We haven't checked our summoning bell in a while. Make sure we're still selling stuff on the market. Here we go. Have you ever had tacos? They're a Tolucal classic. You bake a crunchy shell made from corn flour and fill it with meat and salad. A lot of shops and stalls sell them, but I like how they're made here at Zbalyavti Best. And I need one right in front of me, right now. Let's head downstairs and place an order with Old Brook Ivu.
Brookevo! My companions must sample your heavenly tacos. One for each of us, please.
Right away, promise. And I'll pack them tight with my choicest feelings. Only the best for you and your friends.
Did you hear the silver scares are back? Seems their overseas foray ended in disaster. More than half their warband is missing, including their leader.
Aye. And now keen to rebuild their broken reputations, the survivors seek the Golden City. A fool's errand. How many hopefuls have disappeared in search of that fable? They should count their lucky stars they came home alive at all.
The legend of the Golden City is well known here, I take it.
It is, but as no one's ever seen it, many question if there is any truth to the tale. Like our skeptical Erinville.
I can't imagine the Dawn Servant would request a formal survey for a place that doesn't exist.
Now to find a spot with a pleasant view to enjoy our crunchy spoils. Oh. Oh.
If it isn't the third promise.
Oh. No.
I don't know these ones. New salt.
Dredge from foreign waters is my guess, brother.
Of course, that's it. Wuklamat is so afraid of the coming contest that she went crying for special help.
Was there something you wanted, Bakul Jaja?
The third promise remembers us! Such an honor.
Glory on your name, brother.
And on yours, brother.
I know my rivals for the throne. Nothing more.
Another child of the Dawn Servant?
No, this brute.
We have no ties to their farce of a family. Unlike the sneevling house cat, we are blessed siblings, the elevated chosen. We alone are fit to succeed Golul Jaja as Dawn Servant.
All peoples are equal in Tulihiolan. Your heritage gives you no greater claim to the throne.
Ha! Shall we test that idea here and now? See if your strength is equal to ours.
None of this has any bearing on the right of succession, correct? Best not waste your energies on pointless scuffles.
The kitten comes to the house cat's defense. Pathetic. Since when was our nation overrun by mewling weaklings?
Listen to me, you.
A two-headed mamulja. I knew of them, but that's the first I've seen in the flesh.
Some get it into their twin heads that they're destined to follow in my father's footsteps. So they travel to distant lands to hone their battlecraft. Those are likely the ones you've heard about.
Are there other two-headed claimants?
No, just Bakul Jaja. Even in Tural, his kind are far from common. The Mamulja people largely belong to one of three clans. The Hubigo, the Bunewa, and the Dopro. Every once in a great while, a two-headed offspring is born from a union between the brown-scaled Hubigo and the blue-scaled Bunewa. The child grows to possess immense strength, both physical and magical.
Blessed siblings indeed.
Forget them. Let's go and buy more tacos. I can think of nothing better to rid me of this bad taste in my mouth.
Enjoying your tour of the city, I trust. We've seen our share of notable sights and took a moment to rest. As such, we're ready to present ourselves at the palace for the rite of succession. Shall we meet you there?
The palace it is. I'll let Wuklamart know. Destiny calls. Perhaps we can return for more tacos later?
So it goes.
I'm glad that it showed her, like, pick up the tacos that were ruined. And we didn't just leave them there. I was looking forward to trying some authentic Tulial cuisine, but we should hurry and join Alphinaud and the others at the palace. Alright, it's a bit of a climb to the top, but you can head up from the Resplendent Quarter or even the eastern side of Talonmart, if you prefer. Now that you have an idea of how the city's laid out, I'll let you find your own way to Volok Shunsa. Oh, my poor empty belly. We are taking an Aetherite shard. Aethernet shard. That's what we're doing. You made it, good. Then we're all here. I'm still hungry enough to eat a whole roasted colibri, but the contest won't wait for us forever. What did we get? We got a chess piece. It's 645. Oh, it is better. Shall we? We shall. See what it looks like. Oh, God. Can we dye it black? We could if we had black dye. We're just gonna cast glamour. Where's the lunar envoy? We can't do lunar envoy. For real? Oh, there it is, augmented. This one. Oh, okay. Whew. Oh my god. Upon speaking to Arenvale, several cutscenes will play in sequence. I've acquainted the twins with the city as best I could in a short time. Their unbridled enthusiasm made it rather difficult. Invariably, something would catch their eye, spurring them to run down an alley to investigate, just like herding a pair of unruly squirrels. I understand all too well. Charlian had the same effect on me. Right then, now it's time we saw the inside of the palace. Papa will want to know I'm home and to meet the allies I've chosen. Given how impulsive he is, though, there's no telling what he might be in for.
When did he get here?
What's the point? Why is he here?
Oh, you know this man? Whenever my father spots a promising opponent, he invites them to Sunpurge to duel. Pressing duties or no, he can't resist a good fight.
So the one Estinian is crossing blades with.
That will do, Spearman. I will receive my darling daughter. Know that you are the strongest I fought in many a moon, if not longer. It is the privilege of a life long lived to face such a formidable soul.
If it's formidable you want, then look no further than that man there.
I see you, warrior.
We had no idea you meant to visit Taral.
I've seen what lies east. This time I chose west.
And thus did our itinerant dragoon make his travel plans.
You witnessed our bout. If you thought he was fearsome, that was with one head dozing.
I'm not sure I understand.
The old man has been feeling his years. The uncovered side is the head of resolve, and age has only deepened his love for combat. But the head of reason, wiser of the two, sleeps more and more these days. As I understand it, the veil helps with the restoration of his magical energies.
Enough about me, Lamati. I want to hear of your adventures.
Lamachi.
A term of endearment. It's what my family calls me.
When last did we see you in the palace? Greetings, Solonesh.
It's Erenville now, Don Servant. I took the name while abroad, and have since grown accustomed to it.
Erenville, then. And these others? I assume are Lamati's recruited allies. Ha! Old-tempered still. Yet as much as I'd enjoy testing their metal, the hour of the Rite is at hand. I will summon the other claimants at once. Then I shall leave you to it. Good fortune, my friends. The claimants are assembled. The first promise, Zorolja. The second promise, Ona. The third promise, Uklamat. And lastly, the chosen of Mamuk, Bakun Jaja. You four will compete in the Rite of Succession, the outcome of which will decide who takes my place as Dawn Servant. I am not the man I once was. My wiser half sleeps the days away, and it is time I yield my position. But mine is a torch that has never been passed. Tuliyola is young, and so I look to the always for inspiration. The Rite of Succession, the means by which the Autarch of Mamuk was chosen. Only the two-headed were deemed fit for this contest. But the Tuliyola I built is a nation of many peoples. Our leader needn't have two heads, nor be a Mamulja at all. So I gave the right of claimant not only to the son I sired, but to my adopted talented children as well. Yet the opportunity to rule was still not equal. That is why a recent tournament offered a place in the contest as the winning prize.
Now you have us to compete against.
The drool coming off his mouth.
Though it seems the one head was already too afraid to face us in the tournament.
Our brother was in Shock Tural leading the Landsguard on a campaign to eradicate a Tural Vidral. Anyone with sense would know he was too busy for games.
Now for the part you've been waiting to hear. The nature of the contest itself. To triumph in the right of succession, and thereby claim our nation's throne, you must travel the lands of Yogg-Tural and find the City of Gold.
If I may, Father.
Speak, Kona.
The Golden City is an ancient Turali legend, but after so many failed attempts to find it, the story has become more fairy tale than fact. If you would charge us with such a quest, are we then to assume you have proof of the city's existence?
I offer as proof my unbroken word, for I have seen it with my own 4 eyes.
The city's real. All those years.
This was before the founding of Tuliyoba. I traveled the lands of Tural with my companions, and we ended our journey at the gates to the Golden City. I mean to have you do the same, but in order to achieve victory proper, you need to break the seal I put in place. Bring them.
Tuliyola saga.
You will retrace the path I walked to unite our peoples, step by step. Along the way, 7 chosen electors will be waiting to measure your worth. Earn their keystones by performing the feats they ask of you. Once you've fitted each of the 7 tablets with the keystone, you'll have the key to unlock the seal on the Golden City's gates.
So the contest is in stages, none of which can be skipped by rushing to the ultimate objective.
Exactly. Exciting, isn't it?
Martial tournaments, hunting festivals, and now this? You do so love your contests, Papa.
Were I a few years younger, I would have joined in myself. Give you a proper challenge. You may think the ride is tedious or nonsensical, or both. But I am yielding our nation's throne. Let me have this final indulgence.
A waste of time. Just name Bakunja just successor and be done with it.
The rite of cessation begins now. I'll be watching your progress with great interest. And Clemens, remember to collect your tablets before you leave. You are one of Lamachi's allies. Speak freely.
I am Cryle Baldessian, representative of the students of Baldessian. My name is perhaps familiar to you?
Ah.
It would seem you sent this letter to my orders some years ago. The ink has since faded and much of the writing is illegible. Even so, we managed to determine the essence of it. A request to investigate the Golden City, addressed to my grandfather, Galuf. Included with the correspondence was this earring. A fairy tale and a piece of jewelry were enough to convince my grandfather to sail halfway across the world. So there is surely some greater mystery at work here. On behalf of the students, I've come to seek clarification on the matter. Have you any knowledge you might share with me?
No, not at this time.
What?
I have tasked the claimants with finding the Golden City. To fulfill your request would afford one of them an unfair advantage in the right of succession.
Fair enough, fair enough.
But once the contest is decided, I plan to entrust the entire truth to my successor. If you want to hear it, then you had best help Lamachi win.
Very well, Dawn Servant. On my honor as a student of Baldessian, I will find your Golden City. Thank you for hearing my petition.
How about that? She's grown into a remarkable young woman. You should be proud, Galuf.
Holy moly. So colorful.
Too late to change your mind now, I suppose. But are you sure you wish to be part of this? Our third promise is not wont to take no for an answer. Though you may have agreed to help, I worry that you were swept up in her relentless enthusiasm. Or perhaps you've been lured by the glory of the Golden City. Either way, this contest for the throne will place you and yours at the heart of political turmoil. If you are second-guessing your decision, tell me now. This may be my last chance to help you withdraw.
Life is a series of journeys, my friend. And there's no telling what awaits us on the long road. But what's important is to be true to yourself as you walk it. Only then can we hope to be content when we arrive at the end of one and step forward into another.
I want to see where this journey leads.
So you are committed to your path? I will speak no more of it then. As for my own involvement, I can no longer conduct myself as a mere guide, I think. Not after the Dawn Servant's revelation.
Here they come! It's Saralja! Such a fearsome mien. Make no mistake, there goes Tuliola's mightiest warrior.
First promise, our village needs aid. The cold weather stunts our crops, and the children of our village go hungry. Once you ascend the throne, I beg of you, grant my people new lands, please!
Saralja.
Take heart, tiller of the soil. The Resilient son, blood heir to the Dawn Servant, has heard your pleas.
Saralja, the first promise and commander of the Landscape. Saralja, the palace seer. As he was so careful to remind the crowd, Saralja is indeed the natural child of Gulul Jaja.
And Resilient Son, is that another title, like the first promise?
After a fashion. Common knowledge has it that two-headed Mamulja cannot sire children. Yet Saralja was born all the same, with the head of Resolve's features and the head of Reason's scales. An extraordinary example of life's unyielding resilience.
And a warrior's reticence. He says little, but the way he moves... I know a hardened soldier when I see one.
He's a natural swordsman, a gift he inherited from his father. Some even say that the son has already surpassed the sire. Should he come to power, the first promise means to employ that martial prowess in the conquest of foreign lands. For this, he and his supporters have been labeled expansionists. This puts him in direct opposition to Wuklamat, who advocates for the preservation of peace. You may recall that she spoke of a claimant who cannot be allowed to rule. That is Saralja, the warmonger.
Kyle, are you all right?
The echo. It gave me a glimpse into Zoralja's ambitions. Deep and unknowable, like an abyss. Yet at the same time, a roaring, unquenchable fire. It was a trifle terrifying, to be frank.
Second promise, you must bring us more marvelous conveniences. More dirigibles and trains and the like. We need you in charge to make trading easier. The elders, they complain and complain about abandoning tradition. But we're not like them, afraid of everything foreign and new. You have our wholehearted support. With your ingenuity and knowledge, you're sure to win the contest.
Forgive me, but the rite of succession is barely begun. I will hear your petitions if and when I am named Dawn Servant. If you will excuse me.
Plain spoken. as always. That's Arcona. Practical to a fault.
Here we have Kona, the second promise, who spent time as a pupil at Charlian's own studio.
Now that you mention it, I think I did see him in the halls once or twice. There was nothing to suggest he was Turali, much less from a royal family.
That was by design. He forwent his usual garb and took an Eorzean name to avoid attention.
So it was Kona who introduced the dirigibles. And the railway too, given what we just heard.
In furtherance of his goal, to enrich Tuliolal with every bright notion he learned of in Charlian. He is the hope of those who prize innovation. As aloof as he may seem, Kona and Wuklamat actually get along rather well. They bicker and banter as only close siblings do.
How gracious of you all to cheer the lesser claimants. Oh, come now. What are you afraid of? I'm no different from your Dawn servant. That my kind should reign is Mamulja tradition, and has been so since before there was a Tuliola. I'll brush aside your feeble contenders, and then you'll see who deserves your deity.
Well said, brother.
The Mamulja have finally found peace in Tuliolal. A pity those fanatics are intent on keeping that tradition alive.
The chosen of Mamuk, Bakul Jaja, winner of the recent martial tournament, and the only claimant not of the Dawn's promise. His strength is undeniable, but you see how he is. A few devoted Mamulja are his only supporters.
What would he do with the throne should he win it?
His policies and so forth. I doubt he's thought much beyond winning the contest itself, but one thing seems certain. If he does become Dawn Servant, he will see the Mamulja exalted as the ruling class, and all others forced into subservience.
Sounds like another that cannot be allowed to rule.
We wish for one thing and one thing only, third promise. To abide together in harmony with our neighbors whom we love in this land we share. It is our way, the Turoli way.
Galul Jaja built for us this peaceful nation, and we beg you to preserve it.
You have my word. I won't let your pleas go unanswered.
Until Tuliolal was founded some 80 years ago, this continent was ravaged by war. The eldest among us remember that dark era, and they are Wuklamat's most ardent supporters.
Apologies, it's hard to get away. This is Namika, my childhood nursemaid. She's been like a mother to me my whole life. I told her it wasn't necessary, but she insisted on seeing us off.
I place our precious third promise into your care.
Did you know Wuklamat was taking part in the Rite of Succession?
Of the Dawn's promise, I thought it was only Zoralja and Kona. If she has any accomplishments to her name, I've yet to hear them.
Compared to the two Mamulja, she pales in martial prowess. And then there's Kona, who's far and away the most educated of the bunch. I hate to say it.
It's
but
educated.
It's hardly a competition.
Thank you very much.
Fine. More than anyone. I understand how much better my brothers are than me.
Better? Wuklamat. I have never thought of you as the lesser sibling. Your brothers may excel in their respective ways, but you boast qualities that both lack. A strength that is yours alone. Having cared for you for so long, I should know.
Thank you, Namika. Well, we ought to be on our way.
Yes, hurry along. I await word of your victory with bated breath.
Well, so much for the brief reunion I had in mind. Papa is not one to waste time when he decides to act. I'm used to it by now, of course, but others are often caught off guard. In any case, we should talk about how we're going to find the City of Gold. All we have to work with are the 7 tablets and their connection to the Tuliala saga. Might I suggest first comparing the tablets against the pillars? We could check for any discrepancies between them. Good idea. Let's go and take a look. Alrighty guys, and with that, that's actually going to do it for this block of recording. I hope you're enjoying Dawntrail alongside me, and I will catch you in the next one.